Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a Monday edition of Homefront Sitrep. Hopefully everybody's doing all right today. Mr. Ryan Dorfield, what's up, my friend? I'm going to throw the link in chat. So tonight's going to be a little bit different. Miss Candace is at home. She's not feeling well. Our guest for tonight, his daughter, had a really bad horse accident. So he had to, unfortunately, we're going to have to reschedule Mr. Michael. So tonight I'm just going to throw the link out in chat. And if you want to join just to talk about whatever's on your mind, veteran related, it could be about anything. Feel free to just jump on in. So I'm going to throw the link in chat. And if you want to jump in, tomorrow I'm going to be super, super busy, man. I got to be up in Frankfurt at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Not looking forward to what I got to do there, but I'll be up there in Frankfurt for a while, and then come back home, go to the picket line, support my union brothers and sisters that are on strike right now. So, with me, I'm on strike as well. So, got to go support the local union. So, but anyway, and then Wednesday, my stepdad just recently passed away. So Wednesday we're doing the visitation and funeral on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we're going to bury my stepdad. So this week's going to be a little bit hectic for me, but as a good Marine, I'm going to adapt and overcome and keep pushing forward and doing what I do. We had a great guest on last night with Brent Casey with Valor Coins and Pins. Also, he is carrying on his grandfather's legacy with Woody Williams Foundation for Gold Star Families, which is an amazing organization. They do amazing things for Gold Star families. And then we had special guest host Samuel Deeds, Gunnery Sergeant Samuel Deeds, who I went to boot camp with, and then went to 2nd Battalion 8th Marine, or 2nd Battalion 8th Marines with, I was going to say School of Infantry in between there, but that's part of the process. So, but no, it was a great episode, and we got some really cool episodes coming up. Talking with JT Cooper with Warrior Rounds. I know we've had James Thornton, who's an ambassador, on. Been talking with him. Just got a new book in the mail for an author, veteran author, Frank Demuth. I think it's how you say his last name, Demuth. His book, we're going to have him coming on the show. We just did a meet and greet with him. I got all kinds of things lined up, man. We're booking October now, so September's completely full. October, we're starting to book as well. So we got some really, really good episodes coming up. Great veteran service organizations out there that we're, vetting and checking out, and going to have them on the show. Of course, Ryan Dorfield, who's out here right now, we just had him on. He's Theory. I love his music. My daughters love his music. My wife likes his music. I was actually going to play that backpack rap song at the beginning of the show, but I was like, I'm just going to start it this way. And then we got some new sponsors that we're working on as well. I'm super excited about those new sponsors. One sponsor, Veterans Mortgage Solution, is no longer going to be Veterans Mortgage Solutions. It's going to be changed to something different, but they're still going to be an all veteran team. So super excited about their journey. But yeah, man, it's been a crazy week. For the Willis household, for sure, and Miss Candace, who's on here watching as well, it's been crazy for her as well. Hopefully, she gets feeling better with her medical issues that she's got going on. Mr. Ryan, if you want to jump on, it's up to you. You don't have to, but if you want to jump on, just talk about what you got going on, because I know you just got back from Las Vegas, didn't you? Or are you still in Las Vegas? Yeah, we like all of Ryan's music, that's for sure, Candace. Yeah, Miss Candace says we like all of his music, and we do. I do like his music very, very much so. Almost to the point where I almost was thinking about putting it in the background, just letting it play, because I got it up on Spotify right now over here on the computer. Uh, but yeah, Miss Candace will be all right. We will definitely be all right. No, we got some. Let me see. So upcoming episodes. Um, Super excited about next Sunday. We got Soldier Girl Coffee. Let's see if I can tag them. Let me see. I'll do it from my personal phone. Um, do do do. Now I'm gonna have to pull up the calendar. Soldier Girl Coffee. There's their link. And then on Monday the 26th, ooh, yeah, I like this one too. We got Miss Betsy. Might help if I type Miss Betsy Ross, who is the author of the Fight series. It's a book of 4. It's called the Fight series. If you don't follow her on social media, you should. I highly recommend following Miss Betsy Ross. Let's see, who else do we got coming up? And then on the 28th, Wednesday the 28th, we got our Tip of the Spear Veterans Roundtable. That'll round out the month of August. So we got some great episodes coming up. And then on the 21st, we got 2 meet and greets. So that's a Wednesday, which we got Miss Paula Twitty from South Carolina, I believe. And then Retrieving Freedom. That's going to be a cool one too. That's a service dog organization. We got an interview with them as well coming up. So super cool, super excited about those. And then starting in September, the first weekend of September, Labor Day weekend, we're not going to have an episode. Then on the 8th, we got Angela Capsis. She is out of New York, I believe. The Bronx, I believe, is where she says she lives. She's a Navy veteran. She has a mobile gym, and she helps disabled people with other abilities get into the gym and stuff like that. And then on 9th, we got retired Major Garrett Biss. I want to say he was a major. There might have been a captain, maybe captain. And then on the 15th, we got Sacred Mountain Retreat Center coming on. The 16th, we got the Lima Charlie Show, which is a syndicated radio show. I had the pleasure of being interviewed for their show, and I'm returning the favor and bringing them on our show so they can talk about what they do. And then Miss Lauren Burns. Now, this one here, I remember watching the movie about her. I want to say it was in the 90s. Can't remember the exact year, but her dad was a Palestinian national, and he was living here in America. She was born and raised I think I forget how old she was, but her dad kidnapped her and took her back to Palestine. And the American government said, no, we can't help you, to her mom. And so her mom found this veteran group that created a company, and these were all spec op guys, and they went to Palestine and extracted this young lady and took her over into Israel, and then brought her back home to the United States to her mom. And this young lady, she moved around, changed her name, and moved around numerous times. And she's wants to come on and talk about her experience. And the cool thing about that is, on the uh, maybe the 18th, 19th, 20th, somewhere right around there, she's actually going to go meet these people, meet these guys, these veterans 30 years later. Yeah, you heard that right. She hasn't seen them since the day they rescued her, and she's going to go see them 30 years later. I think that is super, super cool. Uh, and then we got Mended Sparrow Inc., which is a equine therapy organization. We will have them on. Then the 25th of September, we'll have our Tip of the Spear Veterans Roundtable, last Wednesday of the month. Or last Wednesday of each month. Then on the 29th, we got Building Forward Now. And then on the 30th, we got Mr. Jay Wiley. I'm excited about that one too. His story, he was at the top of his game in the Navy, and he had a battle of alcoholism. And he did some stuff that he's not proud of. And the media kind of blew it up, but he did do some stuff that he's not proud of, and he's turned his life around, and now he's running a addiction recovery center for veterans. So that's going to be a really, really touchy kind of subject, I guess you can say. It's going to be touchy. And it could get some people in their feels. So we're going to have to keep that one PC in the chat, because it could upset some people out here in the chat when we have Mr. Jay Wiley on. And you could probably Google Mr. Jay Wiley and see because that's what Candace did. She Googled Mr. Jay Wiley, and his story was like, it was one of those, it's like, do we bring him on to let him tell his story, or do we not, because of how sensitive the subject matter is? And then Candace and I, we both agreed that we think it would be a great episode, because he did turn his life around, and he is very remorseful for the stuff that he done. Yeah, Candace, you and I both are looking forward to that episode. Miss Candace is in chat right now. She says she's looking forward to that episode as well. So if you're out there in Facebook land, YouTube, Rumble, I'm throwing the link in chat. I'm hoping it goes over to the Rumble channel. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know if my comments go to Rumble. Let's see. Rumble. We are live on Rumble. And it don't look like my chat goes over there. So here, I'm going to paste it there as well. So if you're on Rumble and you're watching the show, I just threw the link in chat there on Rumble. Oh, there's Miss Betsy. How are you, dear? Do you want to jump on just to come on before we do your episode, Miss Betsy? If you do, I threw the link in chat if you just want to jump on and talk about your struggles as well. And I was just talking about your books, the 4 books in the fight series. So if you want to jump on, the link is in chat there. I don't know if you can see it. If not, I'll throw it in the chat again. But if you just want to come on and talk, that's what we're doing tonight. It's just me talking tonight. And the wife is leaving work now, so perfect timing. But yeah, if you want to jump on, I struggle with my demons every day. It's a constant battle. definitely a constant battle. Um, Dealing with some demons right now. I kind of went through my story at the beginning, what's been going on this week. With my company going on strike, my stepdad dying. I have to go to Frankfurt to testify in a federal case tomorrow, and you talking about some stress, man. My hair's falling out. Right here in the back, I got some stress-related alopecia. I got a little circle in the back of my head that stress. I need to go get some steroids in it so my hair will grow back because I'm so stressed out on things. It's crazy, man. I tell you, struggling with PTS and your demons and anxiety and hypervigilance. Uh, it's a constant battle for us as veterans, and I know civilians go through their battles as well with PTS and their anxiety. And because my youngest daughter, who's 15, she's got some major anxiety issues that she's dealing with, and then my oldest daughter, she has her own, being ADHD and struggling, but they both maintain 4.0 grade point average, or actually Grace graduated with a 4.2 something. I don't remember. It was up there. Um, but both of them 4.0, and they're going to do wonderful things when they get out and become little humans that are little adults. I say little adults, but as adults, they're going to do wonderful things. Both of them have a good head on their shoulder, and they, of course, with any parents, they're going to struggle, yeah, with any parent. But yeah, so it is what it is. Um, life is a ever changing, ever evolving roller coaster. And Candace, I believe you can testify to that as well. It's a ever changing roller coaster. You never know what tomorrow is going to throw at you. That's for sure. Um, Tomorrow's not promised. That's for sure. Um, Man, I just don't even know what to talk about. My dad passed away a year ago on the 19th. Uh, Today, matter of fact. No, yeah, today. Yeah, today, the 19th. Year ago, and my stepdad just passed away on Friday the 16th. Um, so yeah, it's definitely been an emotional roller coaster, that's for sure. Um, yeah, uh, I don't know, but we got to keep pushing forward. Definitely got to keep pushing. Sorry, I think Miss Candace got me sick. No, not really. I just got a frog in my throat. Um, but no, it's definitely been an emotional roller coaster these last 5 years. Let's just say 5 years. There's so much stuff has happened in 5 years. I tell you what, I love this blue raz sugar free stuff. Being diabetic now, I have to drink all this sugar free stuff. So I gave up sodas December 4th. Um, December 4th. Yes, I think it was. Yeah, they told me I was diabetic, but my A1C was like a 7.2, so it's right on the verge, borderline. I say borderline. Um, so I gave up soda. Just gave up all kinds of crazy stuff just to try to see if I can get that numbers down. Still walking my journey on this VA stuff. I had some questions, and then Deeds told me about something last night that I didn't even think about. When we were in Haiti, uh, all the trash that was burned and everything else that was going on in Haiti that we were burning is another rating that I can pursue. I do have some lung issues. I know at one time they told me I was only breathing at like 75% capacity for my lungs. Uh, so sometimes I get winded when it comes to uh, certain activities that I'm doing. So when I'm working and stuff like that, and it's just like, yeah, maybe that was military related, but now that he told me that he got, rated for that from Haiti when we were there, then uh, I'm gonna have to look into that as well. If you're just tuning in, whether you're watching on Military United podcast streams, whether you're watching on Heroes Media Group, wherever you're watching it, if you want to jump in and just talk about what's going on in your little corner of the world, feel free. The link is in chat. Um, just say, hey, I want to jump in, and click on the link, and we'll let you come up here and talk. It's just me tonight, no guest. We're just talking about random stuff tonight. What's going on in your world? If you want to talk about the demons that you're facing. I know Mr. Craig Murphy said he wanted to join. Let's see. Let me message him. I don't know if he's watching or not, but I know Mr. Craig Murphy said he wanted to come on and talk about some stuff that he's trying to do up there in Washington State. So let's see. So yeah, if you want to join, links in chat. Yeah, links in chat. Sorry, I was responding to some people on Facebook and at one of the posts that I made. But no, hopefully you guys are having a great day and you're having a great week so far. I know today's Monday. It's just one of those, hopefully you had a good weekend. I was up at 5 o'clock every day this weekend, and on the picket line at 6 a.m. 6 to 10 is my shift right now. So I got to get up early. Normally I go in at 7 a.m. Let's see. Share some music. All right. What do you want to hear? Who do you want to hear? You know what? Let's see. Let's see. Let's go over here and let's play this one. So this one here is just released August 1st. So we played it first on our show. Mr. Scotty Frazier, he's a Marine Corps veteran, owner, founder of Sergeant Records in Houston, Texas. He sent us this song and played it for the first time live on our show. So let's play some Scotty Frazier. This is called American Made. What's up, Samuel Deeds? How are you, sir? Hey, the link's in chat if you want to join. I'll paste it again. What's up, Mr. Craig Murphy?
He's got a rose tattoo. It reminds him of the girl he loves. And he's got that rock and roll coming from the speakers in his pickup truck. And it'll always be that way. Until his dying days. He's American made.
How are you? Let me pause. We'll come back to that. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I can't complain. I say I'm doing wonderful, but I'm actually struggling. That's one of those things that we always say I'm fine, but really I'm not. So welcome to the show. I know we got you lined up. I can't wait to have your episode where people can learn more about you. You are an Army veteran. You wrote a book series called Fight. which my one of my good friends, JR, has already read all 4 books, and he said they're amazing. So tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
Well, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I was in the Army. It was kind of short-lived because I was injured while on duty. But I mean, but since then, it was kind of like you said, everyone kind of has their struggles. But I learned real quick that even though they have classes of getting out of the military and they try to prepare you for civilian world again, it's definitely grass is not greener on the other side. It was rough. Like I don't even know where to begin on that. 'Cause all the stereotypes you hear, and they always glorify that we have VA benefits. You can go back to school. You've got this, you got that, but there's some hoops you got to go through, like paperwork, and then you got to prove just how either crazy or how broken you are for the VA. I still got denied, but you know, just because of like the housing situations, I lived out of my truck. It was hard. And I mean, I still don't have regrets of joining the military. I still appreciate the people I was able to meet, what I was able to do, because on the civilian side, I would never get to do that. So all of that is amazing, but the aftermath, would not recommend. 1 star, not even. It was not fun.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And so you were, your generation, I'm speaking in tongues tonight, but yeah, your generation had the classes and stuff and were able to, help you transition a little bit better. Cause like when I got out in 2001, that was not available. Even in 2004, that wasn't available either. I'm going to bring Deeds up and then Craig up as well. But yeah, we didn't have that was available for us when we got out, and I'm excited to read your books. I haven't yet. I definitely want to get a signed copy if possible, for sure, so I can put them up here on the wall. I'm actually going to build a new shelf over here with all these veteran books and stuff. I definitely want to read your book series because JR, my friend JR, says they are amazing to read, and it's good insight. So let me introduce you to Sam Deeds. Sam Deeds is a Marine Corps veteran. I served with him. We went to boot camp together, went to School of Infantry together, went to 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines together. And then when I left 2-8, we kind of parted ways, and then we reconnected. And his story is amazing as well. The things that, 49 surgeries, Sam?
44.
44 surgeries current to date. And then down over here, we got Mr. Craig Murphy. He's with Hometown Heroes Outdoors. He's the state captain for Washington State. So welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And then Miss Betsy Ross up top. I love her name. I don't think that's her real name, but Miss Betsy Ross is an Army veteran. She wrote the book series called Fight. So if you haven't read it, you probably need to go read it, because I'm going to read it. So yeah, definitely. So tell us what's going on in your corner of the world, Mr. Craig.
Oh, getting ready for our next fishing trip. We're going to head down to the coast, August 31st, and we'll be fishing at the mouth of the Columbia River.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll have 3 Purple Hearts on the boat.
Well, Mr. Sam Deeds is a Purple Heart recipient.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Appreciate it.
And then Miss Betsy, are you Purple Heart recipient as well? I know you said you got hurt on active duty.
No, sir, I did not. VA had actually denied me for my injury, so I still got that diagnosis. Just another thing that I didn't write in the fight series I wanted, but I heard of obstacles that many veterans do face. I mean, to say the VA is going to help you, but you get a job afterwards due to disability for whatever kind, you really have to show just how broken you really are. You got to actually show that you can't move your arm, you can't do this, because I live in pain 24/7, but unfortunately, you can't see certain injuries on an MRI or a CAT scan or anything like that. So unheard of, wounds, as they do say. So
Oh, we lost
Oh.
her.
Yeah.
Oh, there she goes. She's back. Yeah, Candace just said she was freezing, so we'll see. Are you back?
I'm back. I don't know what happened.
Well, your internet started freezing up on you. I don't know. You
did.
might be lagging just a little bit.
That's possible. I do that.
Well, yeah, so we got bits and pieces of that. You're not a Purple Heart recipient. The VA was saying that your injuries. It's a battle to fight the VA to get rated. That's for sure. I do know that. It's a pain in the ass. Because I'm going through that process now, and I've been out since 2004. And there's some.
When did you start the process, though, Willis?
Last year, middle of last year.
Exactly.
Listen, Sam. I was one of the veterans that was like, oh, I don't need it. Let somebody else who could use it more than I could. That's what I always thought. And then, my wife is like, oh, you got PTS, you got bad knees, you got bad back, you need to go to the VA. And I'm like, I got medical insurance. I don't need to go to the VA. And she was like, no, you need to go to the VA. And so I started my journey middle of last year. And then, had to do my initial doctor visits and all of that good jazz. And now I'm going through the process of getting rated as well. And still doing all of those. And then I have a knee surgery coming up on October the 22nd. So a complete knee surgery. So I'm going to be off work for that as well. So, yeah, it's fun. So
your knee is service connected?
Yes and no. Let's just say yes and no. It's 50-50, I would say.
Yeah, but it's going to get worse as you age, right?
Yes.
That's what disability's for, David.
Yeah, it's bone on bone right now. Both knees are bone on bone. When I was 40, I went to the civilian doctor, and he said you have bone on bone. So when I went and seen the VA doctor, yeah, Candace. When I went and seen the VA doctor, he's like, well, you're still young. We don't really want to do a knee surgery on you. I had to put that comment up there. Candace says it was all his pole dancing during his service. But the doctor's like, I don't think we should do a knee replacement. Let's kill the nerves. And I'm like, well, if you kill the nerves, that's going to screw me for the rest of my life. And then he's like, well, we can do cortisone shots. And I'm like, doc, that you got to do those every 3 months, and then they wear off in 2 weeks. And it's just like putting a Band-Aid on an open wound. So he finally said, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I think it's best if we go ahead and replace the knee. And no, you're good, Miss Betsy Ross. If you can figure out your internet, jump back on, my friend. I can't wait to have your episode when we do have you on. But if you can get your internet figured out, jump back on. So yeah, dealing with the VA is
it's not easy.
It's not easy, and I can see why a lot of veterans get so flustered and don't pursue, getting their rating and stuff. I can see it, because there's times where I'm like, man,
and then
I just
make
don't...
negative comments about people that are. God
Yeah.
damn it!
Yeah,
Quit doing that, people. That shouldn't do that. Sorry.
Yeah, I would agree, because I know Sam just got 100% this year, wasn't it? Or
it's like December.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And it took. So I was medically retired in 2011. At that point, I had 30 plus surgeries, and they were doing the medical evaluation board process was a little different. What they were doing is they would send everything to the Navy and the VA, because I'm a Marine. So, it goes to the Navy, to look at because that's where our doctors are. And I got both my Marine Corps rating and the VA rating back at the same time. And for the Marine Corps, they only rated me at 40%, but they only rated me from my left knee down. They didn't rate me for post-traumatic stress. They didn't rate me for traumatic brain injury. They didn't rate me for any of the internal stuff that I had going on. And then for the VA side, I ended up getting 70%. And then I think it was a year or so after I retired, I requested an increase, and it took 2 years, and getting my senator involved with that process. And that got me to 80%. And then I fought, and I got sick and tired of it. Just like Willis just said, vets get sick of it. You know, it's a process. It's almost a full-time job to do it. And I was doing it myself. And then the last time I got a veteran service officer involved, and he was phenomenal. I didn't even use the ones right here local to me. I've heard nothing but horror stories to them. You reach out to them, they don't return a call. There's 2 of them from my county, and neither one of them want to work for you as the vet. So I went to one over in Ohio, and within 30 days, he had me doctor's appointment schedules, reevaluations, everything. And then we sent that off. And I want to say it was like 9 months later, I got 90. And then the PACT Act just came out, and I waited till like the last week to fill all my stuff out. I think I filled it out last August. So it's been a year since I filled it out, maybe July, August last year. And I can't remember if it was before or after Christmas, but I got 100% because of the PACT Act. And then that got backdated to when the PACT Act was signed. So I got backdated 2 years. So I got the difference of 90 to 100 backdated for 2 years. But again, I retired in 11, and I just got to 100% last year. But because of my wife and because of the VSO, and you know, they kept me fighting for it, because there's a lot of guys and girls that just give up. And you know,
and many never even start the process.
Oh, I know. I got a guy that I served with. He's probably in his 60s, and he started his process maybe 2 years ago, and he's getting a percentage now. You know, he didn't.
I drug 2 Vietnam vets down.
Yeah. I mean,
you got to understand, because it's such a pain and the hell you go through. Like, listen to you guys.
Well, in the Vietnam vets, right? The VA care had a very, very bad name for the Vietnam vets. And my grandfather's a Vietnam vet, and he didn't start going to the VA until probably 8-10 years ago. And now he's, you know, his hearing aids are covered. He has scheduled appointments through the VA, and you know, he goes to a clinic closer to the house instead of going all the way to Augusta, which is, I don't know, an hour and a half from the house. So he goes to the clinic that's, you know, closest to him. But it took him, you know, all that time to go. And I know a lot of Vietnam veterans that are just now going as well. But it took my generation fighting. And of course, anytime that there's a war, a conflict, you know, call it whatever you will, medicine improves somehow, some way, right? The doctors improve. There's new techniques and materials and gear, and you know, the VA, depending on where you're at, I will tell you right now, the one here in Cincinnati, I don't have a problem with. They use a lot of the doctors from the University of Cincinnati because they're right side by side of each other. So, you know, Cincinnati UC Medical Center is a teaching hospital, and they send a lot of people over to the VA because there's things at the VA that they're not going to see in the regular hospital. And if you can find a VA that's like that, you're going to have better care. The mental care facility here in Northern Kentucky, which is part of the Cincinnati VA, has been in the top 5 to 10% in the nation since I retired. They have a great outpatient program. They have a phenomenal inpatient program. They brought my wife in and told my wife, basically defined what post-traumatic stress was, and then I had to go in and take a test and everything. And they brought her in to explain to her where I fell on the spectrum of post-traumatic stress in each area of post-traumatic stress. So it helped her better understand. And then, I did my counseling. She did some, we did some together. I cannot talk bad about the mental care at Cincinnati. Some of the medical care I've had an issue with, but that was a doctor not listening to somebody that has had 30 plus surgeries and knows what's going on with their own body and trying to make assumptions that, instead of, and wanting to load you in pills.
Yeah.
So,
it's, I don't know. Like some people, so my daddy has a very, very small rating with the VA, and he was just a couple years after Vietnam. And like, he was one of the ones, he loved the VA. He always had great care, went in there, never had any problems until about a year ago. And now like he hasn't had nothing but shit. And right now, I mean, like he's sick. He was in the hospital yesterday and they sent in some meds and now the VA won't even approve them. So like there's usually this process of, he has to jump through these hoops. And so then he finally gets a call today and it's like, well, they're not going to approve him. And it's meds that he needs like right now with how sick he is. And it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
One of the main problems with the VA is that's where a lot of doctors go to retire.
Yes.
Right? They don't start their career there.
They're retired on active duty. That's what they are. That's what we used to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I started my journey through the VA, I reached out to KDVA to find out who my representative or my VSO, veteran service officer for my county was. And they're like, well, it's this person. So they gave me the direct line. So I called, left a message. There you went. So I called, left a message. I waited a week and didn't hear anything back. So I called back, left another message. And when the lady finally called me back, she goes, well, there's nothing I can do for you. I'm like, what do you mean there's nothing you can do for me? You're the veteran service officer for my county. I need to start my process of going through the VA. She goes, well, I can't help you.
Yeah. And that happens a lot. It happens a whole lot. I mean, I've referred a bunch of guys that are up here in Northern Kentucky, Southwest Ohio, to the guy that I went to in Claremont County because he's phenomenal. I could reach out to Mike right now and he would respond, if not tonight, tomorrow morning. And for you, Willis, being close to Louisville, the DAV rep for Kentucky is in Louisville.
Okay. Use
them. I've got a lot of friends that work at the headquarters here, and they tried to have me go to the DAV, but I'm not going to Louisville. I'm not making that hour and a half, 2 hour drive to go to Louisville to try to get my stuff situated, even though headquarters is 10 minutes from my house.
There you go.
But I mean, you just got to, research who's a good VSO in your area. And if yours is crap, you need to let, KDVA know, because especially if they're referring people to that person and they're not working for the veteran. And that's the thing a lot of people forget, especially people in the VA. They are there to work for us, not the other way around.
Right.
The benefits that we as veterans get aren't coming out of their pockets, and they think it is. So it's a long fight. It's a struggle, and depending on what VA you're going to, I mean, I've heard some extreme horror stories. There was a gentleman I met probably 2013, 2014. I was speaking in DC, and he spoke after I did. And he talked about how his son, took his life in their bathtub. Well, he went to the VA twice with suicidal ideations, and they're like, your case isn't severe enough. And they turned him away.
What?
Yeah. And then the kid went home and wrote a note and wrapped himself up in the shower curtain and killed himself in his mom's tub. And they found him. So, I mean, Jeff is telling this story. I'm like, why am I here? Why am I speaking? This
Yeah.
story is way more impactful than anything that I can say. And the focus was, post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, the veteran suicide rate. And, everybody's like, oh, we're here to raise awareness. Everybody's aware of it. Now it's time to act.
Yeah.
The people in power in DC, the people in power at the state level have the ability to make change.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to a veteran that is rated 90%, and he had suicidal thoughts and stuff like that, and he was trying to get bumped up to 100%, but the VA told him that his suicidal thoughts were not severe enough for them to increase his rating. I'm like, so what does he have to do? Go actually hang himself, and then you might think about.
He has to make an attempt, which is BS.
Yeah,
and that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Well, even that. So, like, James did several times, and he still wasn't at 100%.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few counts of his attempts, and sorry, it took until just this past year that he was finally rated. But it wasn't because of that; it was because of the cancer.
Yeah.
Well, and so it's crazy how the VA works. So me as the veteran, right? I go and talk to the doctor, and I tell the doctor what my issue is. That doctor is transcribing almost to the word everything that I'm saying. That doctor will then send that those notes that he took, those documents, to a rater within the VA system. That rater then goes through that and looks for certain words. Depending on the word that you use as the veteran, that rater is going to be like, oh, okay, so that's a 20%. And then they move on to the next diagnoses of, right? And then you take a look at post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury. The VA is doing this to them when they're two different diagnoses. There's two different symptoms. Yes, some of the symptoms overlap, but not enough to combine them. And that's what they just did with me. And I'm 100% total and permanent. I'm not fighting them anymore, but they took my 30% traumatic brain injury and then gave me 30% post-traumatic stress with 10% traumatic brain injury. So it's post-traumatic stress with traumatic brain injury. So it's 30 and 10 now instead of 30 and 30, in which it should have been. And it's happening to a lot of people out there, and they need to get them separated. But again, it's the verbiage that you use as the veteran and the verbiage that the doctor writes down that gets sent to somebody in a total different area. Like for us, for me and Willis, everything goes to Louisville. Our rater is in Louisville somewhere, and the person is sitting there and looking for certain words in each diagnosis, and that's how they rate it. But then there's also, I've had most of my surgeries have been in my gut area for internal stuff. And they're like, well, you're at 30%, and by law, that's all we can give you. Well, by law, the stuff that's going on in my gut could potentially kill me, and I can only get 30%. Are you frigging kidding me right now? But again, I'm at 100%. I'm done fighting with the VA. I'll just go to my appointments, keep my appointments, do my annual, just so I can, keep in good standards with the VA.
Well, the other thing that just came up with my daddy, so they've been covering all of his other meds and stuff for years. Well, all of a sudden, he stopped getting his compensation because now they are going back and taking his pay to pay for past prescriptions. It was like what? I don't, and like none of it. There's so much of it that just doesn't make sense to me. And like he gets shit pay. All he has is 10%, and he's trying to get re-rated. But like that little bit that he gets.
Sorry, I hit
he doesn't even get that.
Yeah.
So
it's ridiculous.
He probably needs to go talk to a veteran service officer somewhere and get reevaluated. Matter of fact, we have a segment here on HomeFront Sitrep. He needs to reach out to Ask Monica.
We talked about that, and this dummy went behind me and went with some company, some law group. And it's probably putting himself in something. So right now he's just waiting for them to get back and say what they
Yeah.
have to say, because I was like, you need to finish that up, let that finish, and then we have the people that you need to talk to.
Yeah, they're gonna take a minimum of 40% at and that's everything. If he gets back paid, they're gonna take 40% right off the top.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I just had it done. I went from 10 to 40 to 70. Got tired of fighting. Hired an attorney, and it's 20%, and which is not bad. They got me money backdated to a previous date, so that was good. But it wasn't the issues that I really wanted to push.
But you're out in Washington State. We're all in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's different each state. Well, my daddy's in Indiana, so I don't.
So he may be less.
Yep. But if somebody's charging you to help you file your VA benefits, then they're not. It's a shame.
That's because people get fed up waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that, but if there's a company out there making money off of veterans that are filing their VA and stuff, there's so many organizations out there that will do it for free, and they know what they're doing. Like Monica Sanford down in Florida, she's her husband's a lieutenant colonel, retired 35. They've been married 35 plus years, and that's what she does. And she's like, if any of your listeners or your followers want to reach out to me, they're more than welcome to reach out to me. And that's what she helps veterans get their rating. That's what she does.
And we've had a few people already reach out to her.
Yeah, we've had a few people reach out to her. We had one guy reach out for a second opinion because they were trying to say that his knee injuries, he had two different types of knee injuries, and they were trying to say that they were related or not related. Yeah, saying they were not related, even though the ortho doctor said they were related, and he had documents from the ortho doctor saying that they were related, and the Raiders were like, "Oh, they're not related, so we're not going to compensate you for it." So he's reaching out for a second opinion, and hopefully he can get rated for that, because he's got all the document from the ortho doctor saying that it was related. So I don't know. The VA system sometimes seems like you can get good VA people that work there in the VA and that are willing to help and want to help. And then you got other people that are in the VA that are short timers and they don't really give a fuck. And
that's everywhere. That's not just with the VA. I mean, that's any healthcare is like that. Heck, you go to McDonald's one day and the lady in the drive-thru is nice as can be, and the next one, it's like you pissed in her Cheerios in the morning. She's just mad at the world. So I mean, that's everywhere. But it does seem to be more of a constant with the VA, depending on where you're at.
Yeah, like I've gone to Zorn Avenue. That's Zorn Avenue, the main hospital, and then I go to the clinic at Stony Brook, and the doctor that I got assigned, she was with the VA at one time, then she left the VA, and now she's back at the VA, and she's just like, I'm here riding it out till I retire, and I'm like. I mean, she's a sweet lady. Don't get me wrong. She's a sweet lady, but I just don't think, I think she's just there to retire, and she don't really care what she's doing, because she kept on, trying to push medicine on me. And she knows, like I've told her, I don't want to get on a whole regimen of pills. I got 3 right now that I'm taking. One for cholesterol. Yeah, listen, cholesterol, vitamin D, and metformin for my diabetes. And I'm like, I don't want pills. I don't want to be on pills. So and she keeps trying to push. I know, right? And she keeps trying to push more pills on me, and I'm like, I don't want to take pills. It's not what I want to do. So we're still trying to figure that out. And then I did the smart thing with my therapy. I said, hey, I need a community consult, because I can't take off work in the middle of the day to go to a therapy appointment. So I needed something that would be conducive to my schedule. And they're like, all right, we can do that. So they set that up. And now the doctors that I go through are VA providers. but they're willing to work with my schedule. And, my appointments are usually like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which works good for me because I can get off work, drive straight there, do my appointment, then come home. So that kind of helps out. Mr. Russ Bloomer just joined. Welcome, Russ. I know you're watching now. Bill Rawson, who's he's a Marine Corps veteran. He was a crash crew in the Marine Corps. He's a Cali Marine though, so we won't hold that against him.
I tell you, we all bust on the Hollywood Marine, right? And I say it all the time. I went to recruiter school, and it's right there at MCRD San Diego. And while they're at MCRD San Diego, they're under the watchful eye of the community. The city wants that property. I mean, it's prime real estate right on the backside of the airport. There's a marina right there. That's a really nice marina. But, however, when they go up north to the range or any of their field stuff, it's on. And they're hiking those friggin' mountains. I'll take Paris Island all day, every day, instead of going out there to hike those friggin' mountains.
Was it Mount Motherfucker is one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll stay. I'll take Paris Island any day of the week.
I'll take the heat, the sand flies, the gators, all that. I'll stick with that flat ground and hiking instead of doing those hills. Absolutely. Bridgeport was enough for me.
Oh yeah, Bridgeport. I did it twice and it sucked.
Yeah.
Both times it sucked.
Well, we did 2 winter packages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gentlemen,
yes, Candace.
I'm gonna go lay back down.
I don't even know why you jumped on.
Because I felt left out, and then my Marine came in and went and got in the shower, so I was lonely, and
She wanted to see me again. She didn't get enough last night.
I could see you anyways. It was Craig. It was Craig. I really wanted to come on here and see him.
It was Craig and Betsy. I know.
Yeah.
It wasn't me or Sam.
It definitely wasn't me. My wife doesn't even want to see me. What are you talking about?
I got enough Marine in my life.
There you go. Oh, right. Listen to Russ Bloomer. Y'all couldn't handle the Air Force Base.
Hey, did you see that Air Force drill instructor saying that the Air Force had the hardest boot camp?
No, I didn't.
It was years ago. But I saw it. I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? You're like 6 weeks. How hard can it be? It's 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And every
right, go get some rest, Candace.
Love y'all. Have a good night.
Candace.
Bye.
You as well.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm surprised she jumped on. Hold on here. Let's see. Which one do I want? Oh, here we go. This one.
Yay.
There we go.
Now I got to lean back.
I know, right?
You come into that close view and my head looks like it's this big.
Well, that's because it is.
True.
Yeah, Russ, you know what? I'd love to just go watch Air Force basing. I would just love to go.
It's different. I went through the traumatic brain injury study that DOD did back in, I think it was 2010, down in San Antonio. I was at Brook City Base, and it's right down the road from Lackland, from the boot camp. And we walked over there, and we're looking, and we're like, what's up with this formation? Like, they were wearing all different, like some people were in shorts and a running top, some ones within a full running suit. I mean, it was all different. I'm like, this is just crazy. This is not how this is supposed to be. But
yeah, I've seen like those, on TikTok, they're like how different branches PT.
Oh yeah, how they PT, how their chow is, how their haircut is. Yeah.
And I literally had a shaving waiver. Dude, we didn't even have those in the Marine Corps. We had
in the fleet. Yeah, there was a few people did, because they'd get the shave bumps, but they couldn't do this, right? They had to take, the razor, like an electric razor, and do it, or they had to take the Nair and do it, but they couldn't go full beard and all that stuff. Yeah,
no, we had to utilize the Nair or the trim it down real short, so he's just stubble, so he didn't get the bumps and stuff like that. But I've seen the Army basic, like I've seen a couple of those. My nephew was going through basic, and my stepdad. Of course, we lived by Fort Knox, which was one of the basic training regiments here, and so I did get to see some of the some basic stuff. But just watching like how Marine Corps does push up compared to how the Army does push up compared to how the Navy, how the Air Force. It's funny just watching the different branches and how they exercise and how they do things different. Cadences, even with like a lot of your cadences.
Oh, it's
I
way
know,
different.
yeah, I know the Marine Corps has some cadence that the Army has, and the Army has some the Marine Corps utilizes and stuff like that. But um, it's a whole different ball of wax watching it. It's crazy.
I mean, I go fishing up in Cape May, New Jersey, and that's where the Coast Guard boot camp is. And as we're going out in the morning or coming back at night, I mean, they're loud. You can hear them. I don't know how big their classes are, but you can hear them across the bay. I mean, there's a nice restaurant that sits right there on the bay, and you can hear them over there. Hi, sir. It's like, what just happened? What just happened?
Bringing back some memories, huh?
Yeah, but I have not gone on to Cape May to see what their drilling ceremony looks like, or if they get extra PT time or anything like that. But
I think it's let's see. Russ says we deserve all the shit talk. Trust me, it was pretty easy. Ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't. I think we complain that Marine Corps boot camp's 13 weeks, and then we get to go home, and then we go back to the School of Infantry, and depending on if you're an infantry Marine or a non-infantry Marine, you'll go to infantry training battalion, or you'll go to Marine combat training, and then Marine combat training, you go to your formal school. The Army, they go through, what is it, 10 weeks, I think, 19 weeks of boot camp. And then they go on the same base for the most part that they went to boot camp on, basically across the street to the schoolhouse, and go through their formal school.
Yeah, their AIT or whatever.
Yeah, their AIT. And, I think that's a great idea. We went Paris Island, then to, Camp Geiger / Camp Lejeune, and then to Lejeune.
Yeah, that was fun. Hey, Craig, did you get that one thing worked out that you had talked about where you were needing money for one of your trips or something like that?
No, I'm still going to have to pay.
You're still going to have to pay out of your pocket?
Yeah.
So did you have some sponsors back out? Is that what happened?
Well, the group head told me to do it. I said, do you want me to do what we did last year? And he said, yeah. So I made all the arrangements. And he asked me later, have you raised any money? And I'm like, no, I haven't raised any money. He said, well, if we can't raise money to pay for it, you're going to have to cancel it.
That's crazy. All right, Russ, be good, buddy.
I said, I'll pay for it. And it's 3 Purple Heart guys that are going to be on that trip. So I don't care. It's fine. But it's kind of shitty on the group.
Yeah, I agree. Now, that's not Hometown Heroes, the group you're talking about? Or
Yes.
It is them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
the Nationals not willing to help you out in any way?
Nope. Well, I ain't begging.
Well, I mean, I understand that. And I understand you're the team lead, and they're probably wanting you to raise funds on your end as well, being the team lead. I guess that's where you'd have to probably maybe come up with like some kind of raffle fundraiser in your area to help raise funds for your events.
Well, I'm going to go to a VFW, but I'm going after the fishing thing. But hopefully I'll get things going with them, and hopefully they can contribute to future events.
Okay.
I'm taking them a World War I VFW cap that a friend gave me. I'm going to give to them.
Okay. Yeah,
And
you probably
about what the group does. And
you probably need to hold some kind of like big fundraiser, like a gala or a car show or something of that nature to help raise funds for you in your area. Now, you have their EIN number, so you could probably have them create you a bank account with a bank in your area that you can put funds into just for your events only. That way you have access to it. But I don't know how big Hometown Heroes is. I know they're, nationwide. It's a nationwide organization, but they should be able to help you create a bank account, and that way you can start putting funds into it and stuff like that in your area. A lot of times they have I know like AT&T Veterans, which I'm the president for the state of Kentucky. Um, they have, is it U.S. Bank or Bank of America? Which one's in Cincinnati? Is it Bank of America Deeds?
Fifth Third.
Well, no, I know Bank
U.S.
of
Bank. U.S. Bank's the other one.
Yeah,
Bank of America's in Charlotte.
Okay. So I know there's not one close to me. I'd have to go to Cincinnati to go to the branch. But AT&T, that's who they used, AT&T Veterans, which is a national 501c3. But I still have a bank account for the state of Kentucky. So anytime I do like a golf scramble or any kind of fundraiser, I can go to the branch and deposit money, or I can send a paper check or a copy of the check to my treasurer, and they can do an electronic deposit. And then, of course, a lot of bank apps, you're able to do that as well. But the only thing with doing, trying to deposit it through the app, they put a hold on the money for a few days. So, but yeah, if you're running it as the lead, you're going to have to come up with ideas of how to raise funds on your end, so it don't come out of your pocket. Because I don't know how much funding the national organization of Hometown Heroes has, but
They got plenty of money.
well, yeah, they should be helping you. That's what I think, but that's not my organization, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I just got used to Safari, and now we have Google, and you got all this other crap, and I'm confused by it. I don't really want to learn all that crap. I've been trying to get somebody to help me to do that aspect of it.
Right.
I like talking to the people that want to take veterans out fishing. I like talking to the guides. That's what I like to do. I don't like doing the paperwork, on the credit cards and the Google Forms and all this other crap. I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm old. I want to die soon.
Well, it sounds.
I don't want to have to learn a whole bunch of new shit.
It sounds like you need to create a board in your area for your Hometown Heroes, Washington. So, Candace says you let me know what you need, Craig. So she says you let her know.
Okay.
But yeah, it does sound like you need probably a board for your area up there. That way you have people that you can delegate. So you'll need a treasurer, you need a VP.
Yeah, I don't have any of that.
Secretary.
I don't have any members. Remember, I'm the one that started this group here, and it's only been doing it for 3 years, I think.
Right, but
they didn't have anybody.
Right, but you still need to find people that can be on a board, and that's going to help you delegate stuff that you need to delegate, because you need a treasurer.
Yeah.
You're going to need a secretary. You're going to need a VP.
I don't know who my members are.
You don't know who your members are?
No. The only way I find out about members is that if I post the fishing trip and then they sign up for the trip, I can see that they're members that way.
Well, it sounds like you need to create just a private group for Hometown Heroes Washington and have people join that way. That's what I would do, and then that way you can have your veterans in Washington State there sign up for your group. Perfect. Yeah, so you just need to you need to go in and create that, or have the main organization create it for the state of Washington and Northern Cali, because you're close to Northern Cal, right?
No,
it'd be Oregon.
Yeah.
Is it Oregon? All right,
It's
then.
a whole nother
Okay,
state
Oregon.
in between.
Washington, Oregon,
I ain't never
California.
good with yeah. Listen here, man. I don't go out west very often.
He's from Arkansas.
It is Arkansas. What are you talking about? Candace says, I'll do a 50-50 in Washington and Kentucky if you have a place I can stay. Laugh out loud.
No
So
problem.
she'll stay here for 50% of the time and then up there for 50% of the time.
Okay.
So if you got a nice big tent, she can sleep in a tent in the backyard.
We'll do better than that.
Refrigerator box.
A refrigerator box. What's up, Mr. James Thornton? How are you, sir? Our Somalia veteran there. But no, man, my wife is about to be here, and we got to get up early in the morning because we'll be in Frankfurt in the morning. I don't know if you guys heard that earlier in the conversation, but I will be in Frankfurt testifying tomorrow morning. I am number uno testifying. So it's going to be a fun-filled day. That's for sure. So
Better to get there early and get it over with.
Yeah. I'm so ready for this to be over with my part of what I need to do for this part. It brings a lot of extra added stress that I don't really need at the present moment in time. So I'm ready for it to be over, and the wife is ready for it to be over as well. But I will tell you, anybody out there, if you're going through the VA, don't lie to the government because they will catch you. I mean, they will catch you, especially if you're in the public eye. They will catch you. So don't lie. Don't lie to the government because they will catch you. Just be honest. Yes, I know we probably deserve it. Every one of us probably deserves 100%. But don't lie to the government just to get that extra 30% or 20%. Don't lie to them because they will catch you. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Well, in Kentucky, especially. I mean, they do some research for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And they will reach out to you and be like, hey, what's up with this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the court case that I'm going to tomorrow, they started investigating said person 2.5 years ago, and they implemented people within the private group. They went to the events that organization held, and they did their due diligence, and then they started reaching out to people. So
yeah,
it will happen. So like I said, yes, I know, Candace. I'm trying to tread lightly.
But don't discourage people with mental health issues from getting the help they need.
No, yeah, you definitely need to go to the VA, go to mental health. You definitely have to do that. But just be truthful. Don't lie to get extra money because that's where they'll catch you. So, but yeah, Deeds, Craig, thank you guys for jumping on here. I'm going to go ahead and call it easy tonight because the wife is on her way home and she's stressed out. Her mom had surgery this morning, and she's been at the office all day, and she's like, hey,
and
keep
you're
it
going
short.
to get dinner ready?
Yeah, I got to go cook dinner and then get up early in the morning because we got to leave. I think we got to leave here at like 07 in the morning to get to Frankfurt on time because I'm not getting stuck in traffic because I'll be flabbergasted by the time I get there if I get stuck in traffic.
Yeah, if you're going 64, you're going to want to leave a little bit earlier than that. If you're going bluegrass, it's not going to be bad, and because you can get off in like around the Harrodsburg area and then cut up to get to Frankfurt that way. But if you're going across 64, they've been having some construction and stuff like that, so I'd leave just a little bit earlier.
Yeah. So Candace says, no joke, Willis does all the cooking. I do. And that's my control issues because I like my food.
I mean, I do 90% of the cooking in the house.
There you go.
The other 10% is DoorDash or eating out.
There you go. My wife's ideal of cooking dinner is ice cream.
Yeah, I mean it's pizza or
Yeah.
Skyline chili or whatever. So my wife gets to indulge in that while I'm gone because I don't like the Cincinnati chili because it's not chili, right?
Yeah, Cincinnati's not. Yeah,
so
Skyline
gross.
is not chili. Did you?
Skyline, Dixie, Washington, Gold Star, all of them. They are
Yeah.
freaking cocoa is not supposed to be in chili.
Neither is cinnamon.
Cinnamon is not supposed to be in chili. Some hamburger, some tomato, some green pepper, some onion, even a jalapeno or two, some garlic, sausage, pepperonis, but not freaking cocoa and not cinnamon.
Not cinnamon. No,
and it's
I
not
agree.
supposed to be pureed.
No, I agree.
There's my rant for the night. God, I hate that stuff. So gross.
No, I agree with you, brother. I agree with you, man. Here, I got to finish that song because I cut it off a little bit earlier. So Scotty Frazier, Marine Corps veteran, owner of Sargent Records. He played this song, or he sent it to us before he released it to anybody. I think it got released August 1st. So you can go search Scotty Frazier on any streaming platforms. That's SCOTTI Frazier, FRASER. And you can follow him on any platform out there. So I'm going to play the song real quick just because I didn't play it all a while ago. But, well, can I restart it? I can't restart it.
He's American made.
Got old man back.
Yeah. So this is his new song. It's called American Made. It's really good.
Now he's got a wife and kids, and bills that he can't pay. But he's clinging to the good book and a Chevrolet.
Am I supposed to hear something?
Can you not hear it?
No.
Sam, can you hear
Still
it?
proud to say. Until his time.
It's playing in the background.
Well, then how
I just turned up my earphones to hear better.
Until his time.
It's about over. And before you guys go, I got one more song.
a song I can't hear.
Well, you might be able to hear the next one.
All right.
He'll stand up for the colors. That won't ever change. When he feels like he's back over there, he turns it up to 10 and lets that radio play. He's American made. Until his dying day. He's American made. Until his dying day. He's American made.
I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I think he said he'll be back. So yeah, that's Scotty Frazier, American Made. Now the next song, Sam, this one might tug at your heartstrings. This song is called "How Do You Choose," and this song is about survivor's guilt. So I just want to give you fair warning of what this song is. This is Mr. Scotty Hastings, who just had his debut on at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, nice.
And this is the song that he sung at the Grand Ole Opry. And I'm doing the acoustic version. So, Candace, are you still there, or did you leave?
Is that what you started with yesterday? Was that yesterday's intro to the podcast, or was that a different song from him?
That's a different song from him. The one I played yesterday is called "I'm America." Yeah, "I'm America" was the one I played. And then when I had him on the show, I played this one. And I will tell you, if you're watching this, you'll need tissues, because it will get you. And the story he told was, this is a song about the soldiers that he served with, because he got shot 10 times in Afghanistan, and some of his friends didn't come home, and some of his best friend didn't come home, and he wrote this song about his best friend. So just be ready, because like I said, it will tug at your heartstrings. Are you ready for it? All right.
I mean, I guess I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. You keep building up all this anticipation for it.
Right. And this is the acoustic version. Guitar and
Rolling down the window, too scared to get out. How do you say goodbye to someone you thought you couldn't live without? My mind is racing with memories of who he was and how good everything used to be. Damn, that could have been me. How do you choose who comes back home? Who goes under no gravestone? I'm just asking 'cause it makes no sense to me. Is it something that takes a little time? Does it even cross your mind? Or is this the way that it has to be? Tell me, God, did I win or lose? Why am I here and he's there with you? How do you choose? My guilty conscience preys on my mind as I see the words they wrote after he left us behind. Now I'm on my knees. How do you choose who comes back home? Who goes under no gravestone? I'm just asking 'cause it makes no sense to me. Is it something that takes a little time? Does it even cross your mind? Or is this the way that it has to be? Tell me, God, did I win or lose? Why am I here and he's there with you? How do you choose who stays here and who goes home? I'll never understand feeling this alone. How do you choose who comes back home? Who goes under no gravestone? I'm just asking 'cause it makes no sense to me. Is it something that takes a little time? Does it even cross your mind? Or is this the way that it has to be? Tell me, God, did I win or lose? Why am I here and he's there with you? How do you choose? God, tell me, how do you choose?
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they said it here on chat. Amazing song, great song.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And
You know,
when,
and anybody that served in war, combat, conflict, that lost friends, that's probably the number one question that's asked.
yeah,
You know, we've discussed it many times. There's 2 kids out of Northern Kentucky that we recruited out of my office, one that I put in the Marine Corps, and you know, he was young. He was at the end of his first enlistment. He was less than a month from coming home,
Mm.
and you know, it's yeah. Why him? Why not me? I mean, the night I got blown up, you know, I was the only one that came home, and the entire time that I was back here stateside for the rest of that deployment, I'm like, you know, let my guys be safe. Let them make it home. And we lost as a battalion, we lost 8 guys that deployment, and then we lost 17 the next deployment. You know, and some of those guys were married, had kids, you know, had just gotten married, just had kids, and some of them were living their young adult life and getting ready for that next chapter for when they decided to either re-enlist or be like, hey, you know, I'm done with the big green machine and I'm going to go home.
yeah. When he was, you know, that because I'm America came out before that song did, and when he got Gary Sinise invited him to the Grand Ole Opry, and because when he was shot, when Scotty was shot, he was at Walter Reed, and Gary Sinise happened to come on to Walter Reed that day, and they're like, "Hey, Gary Sinise is here," and he's like, "Who's Gary Sinise?" Because he didn't know who Gary, he didn't know who he was. And then they're like, "Yeah, Lieutenant Dan." He goes, "Oh, I want to meet," you know. But they kept trying to push his surgery back because he had to go in for surgery, and unfortunately, they couldn't push it back any further, and so he had to go see surgery. As soon as he came out of recovery, he's like, "Is Gary Sinise still here?" And they're like, "No, he's not here." And then he wound up meeting him several years later, and they became good friends. And then the 30th anniversary of Forrest Gump was just recently.
Yep.
So Gary Sinise was at the Grand Ole Opry. Well, he invited Scotty to go to the Grand Ole Opry with him for the 30th anniversary. And Scotty said that this was the song that he wanted to play at the Grand Ole Opry to make his debut. And
wow, what a place to do it too.
Yes, and it's one of those that's a tearjerker, and he's got some great songs. So if you follow him on Spotify, Amazon, whatever, you know, Black River Entertainment's who he signed with down in Nashville. They reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to have, you know, Scotty on your show," and I was like, "Let's do it." You know, I was like, "Let's rock and roll with it." And
yeah,
hey, what's up, Cody Daly? How are you, sir?
And Gary, in his own right, is a phenomenal American.
Yes,
you know, he didn't serve, and if you get an opportunity, he has a book. He has a book called Grateful American. The audible or audio book of that, whoever does the reading, and I think it's him in parts of it, and it might be him in all of it. I can't remember. It's been so long ago since I listened to it, but the way that he talks about his life events and to where he got to where he is today, and, you know, not serving, but things that he went through in his personal life with his personal struggles. And some of those struggles are struggles that veterans go through after, you know, leaving the service, after, you know, dealing with the heavy medications and stuff from the VA. It's a great book. Matter of fact, I'll probably listen to it again here on my next road trip because it is that good.
Yeah, yeah, Gary Sinise, I've followed his career, you know, from way back when I first found out who he was. Cody says he loves your coin collection behind you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's not even all of his coins, Cody. I think it's just a snippet of his coins.
Yeah, I've got. Can you see all of them? No, I got another 2 cases, 3 cases in the dining room that are full.
And then you design what, 10, 15, 20 of those?
That are behind me?
Well, altogether. Well, no, yeah.
Oh, no, I've got probably 60-ish total that I've designed that are in the house. There's probably only actually none of the ones in here. The ones that all I designed are in the dining room.
Oh,
I ought to switch them out so you can see the ones that I've designed or collaborated with.
Yeah, you definitely need to do that. Definitely need to do that.
Because it keeps getting brought up, and I have to have the wife or the son, go over and bring. Like last night, I was just, hey, go get me this coin. Texting, get me this coin. Get me this coin. So that's how they all appeared in the office. Is my wife or my oldest son was
nice
running coins for me.
And until they went to bed, and then you were on your own.
Yeah, then I had to get up and get that that big one. But no, I mean, I have a great collection. None of these coins I bought. There's 2 coins in my collection that I bought, and it's my first coin and my current coin my personal coins. Other than that, these are all been given to me or gifted to me. There's a Kentucky Colonel one in here somewhere that my son bought for me when he realized that I was a Kentucky Colonel. It was a Father's Day gift one year. And then all of these ones here is every unit that I served with or attached with or
which one you say you were missing? You said you were missing one.
Yeah, so the one that goes I'm
right there.
Here. Right there is Weapons Training Battalion at Camp Lejeune. That's the only one I'm missing. So I was attached to them for a very short period of time just before I retired, when they had the Marine Corps Eastern Region pistol and rifle matches, and then the Marine Corps matches as a whole were there. So I got to go out to be a pit official and a verifier for that for the couple of weeks. I told you, next time I see you, you will have one, Candace.
Yeah, Candace. I got one. I'm special.
Don't rub it in. I usually have like 4 or 5 in the truck. I only had 2 the day I came down to the wall.
Yeah, I think James Thornton said he wanted one as well.
Yeah, and I just speaking of James, who was the other gentleman that was there? That was
JT Cooper.
Yeah, so JT. I will have, probably not until after October, I will have 2 Kentucky Mogadishu Mile coins, 1 for each of them. Nice. I just got a couple sponsors to do this year's coin, and they're actually in the process of being made right now for our October event. So I will have one of those for each of them next time that I see them, or I can pass them off to you because you see them more than I do.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Candace says, who was more important than me? It was Stan the Man is who was more important. and who was the other one that got your coin? Was it Ratman?
Ratman.
Yeah, Ratman.
Yeah, so Ratman got the one that was in my pocket, and then Stan got the one that was in the truck.
So this is the front of Sam's coin, Gunnery Sergeant chevrons, and on the back, I can't even see it.
Yeah, so the back, a little bit more meaning than the front. The front's just the Gunnery Sergeant chevron. It says Gunnery Sergeant Samuel Deeds, United States Marine Corps retired. And then on the back, obviously the eagle of an anchor at the top. I guess it's the left as you're looking at it is the Navy Marine Corps medal. It's the equivalent of the Airman Medal or the Soldier's Medal, which is the highest award for heroism outside of combat. The Purple Heart, and then under Willis's finger is the Blue Star. That's the same star on the Blue Star Service banner. And that says Semper Fidelis there. And then there's a Silver Star for those that were injured or ill in combat, the Gold Star for those families that were lost. And in the center is the official race logo for the 2013 Brickyard 400. It was the Samuel Deeds 400 because I did some stupid stuffs overseas and back here at home too, that a lot of people feel as though I deserve the name and rights to the race. And I got to go out there for a weekend at Indianapolis and spend some time with NASCAR and got to meet some great people in that community, and that I still stay in contact with today.
Yeah, Kyle Busch is one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kyle, Kurt, Ryan Newman. Last time I saw Ryan, I told him I was going to stop by his office and sign the trophy because he's the one that won the race. And he's like, yeah, it's sitting on my desk. Come on over. And then even some of the pit crew people, the hauler drivers that I still stay in contact with. And I get to see them when we jump into the NASCAR races. I'll swing by the garage and holler at them, or I'll swing by their pit box, depending on when I get an opportunity.
Hell yeah. Well, Sam, I better jump off here before my wife kicks my butt again tonight.
Yeah, she was going to get you last night.
Oh, she was.
I'm surprised she didn't come down and push you by your ear and bring you up.
Yeah. Well, you should have seen the text messages. You heard the phone call, and that was nice. Text message. But no, she's going through some stuff right now with
I
with
mean,
her mom.
you all are. I mean, and not just in your personal lives and your work life and everything else. So I mean, you don't have to apologize to anybody. You take care of your business, you take care of yourself and your family, and and then people that can't understand that, they can pound sand.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely going to take care of family first. That's always first and foremost. So, but yeah, got to do what we got to do sometime. So,
yeah,
but it's about that time of night, and like we always say here on HomeFront Sitrep. Damn, my mind just went. Yeah, like we always say here on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got
you six.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.